Good morning, beautiful Virgo. It's Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your January 2018 Soul Tarot reading. As always, I'm really thrilled to be here with you, and I'm very thrilled to have you here with me. I'm a Virgo with an Aries rising, and so, you know, when I do these readings, I always feel a sense of gratitude when I come around to my own sun sign. So I am excited really deeply. There's a very beautiful message for Virgo that is right in line with all the other signs, the tapestry that has been woven, that the spirit guides talked through me about much of 2017. So I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot deck, and I'm starting out with this beautiful image just to set the energy pattern inside of you, if you will, while I prepare for the body of the reading. So let me toggle over and say hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. We're calling this the tundra now. It's colder here than it is in the Arctic. So that has to do with the jet stream, etc. And all of you that have seen the little video that I posted about me trying to get home after 2 days of being iced out. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. So this year in 2018, have some exciting announcements. I'm going to be free to widen my services now. Spirit last year wanted me to focus in a very steady, that's the word that's coming through, very steady, very sort of laser focused way about the development that we were all undergoing because of the prophecy for the year 2017. So if you're new and you haven't seen some of those videos, definitely go check it out, especially the videos that come Spirit saying for you through the summer and on into October through the solstice. So what's going to happen in 2018? I'm going to be available for a wider array of services. I will be able now to do couples readings, twin flame, soulmate, any kind of journey that you're having with another human being, whether it's a love, romance, relationship or not. Give me a shout. I'm available to help the two of you look deeper into what that pathway is all about. I am going to be able to now make myself available for distance healing. I will also be available for anyone who wants to be in touch with or get some information about somebody who's crossed over and is on the other side. A lot of what happened this year as the readings came out, the personal readings, there were a lot of people who came to say hello. We had a lot of very in-depth, really beautiful conversations with folks on the other side. So I've decided that, that when things sort of start popping up in my life in that way, I know it's time for me to attend to that. So I'd like to make that more widely available to you. Let's see, what is the other thing? I think I talked about distance healing. So check it out. All the information is still just below the video. Click the words show more that are in the description box. That opens a tab. Everything's there. Links, PayPal links, time conversion links, a little bit of information that I ask you for. It's all there, okay? In the end of January, I'm hoping to roll out a website at long last, and I think that might simplify our process together as you folks want to look through what's available from me for your purposes, okay? So let's jump back in. Virgo, when this reading came out, I just was filled with so much joy and a lot of just, there's a softness to this reading. And it felt to me as though Spirit was really acknowledging and showing the reflection of the nature of Virgo in this reading. And here we start with the judgment of skill. Sitting in front of this reflecting pool, thinking, daydreaming, understanding the pathway that you've been on. Sorry, that's somebody trying to call me. My very smart new computer answers the phone for me now. So I'm going to take a moment and turn off the phone. Pardon me. So, Virgo, here we are, and it certainly is true for me. This is the place in which we sit. It's quite lovely. Pondering our pathway, where we have been, and where we are going. And one of the things I love about this card, Virgo, we are the quintessential earth spirits. Spirit's talking to me about Gaia and the Earth Mother and all those kinds of things. The ways in which we identify ourselves, the ways in which other people identify ourselves. So, do you see the blue shoes on this beautiful woman? Her vessel is full. She is at the source, sitting in the earth with her passion intact. Flowers in her hair. I mean, Virgo, it's so beautiful. Look at that. There we are, kids. Spirit says, there you are. All right, so, blue shoes. Your journey has been transformed, and you walk forward into the mystical unfolding that is meant for you in 2018 in your energy set point. So all the readings this month, so far, this is number 8, so far, Spirit is hearkening back to the journey of 2017 and talking about the prophecy for the coming year and the type of unfolding that we are all going to be walking through. So I love that we sit in our quintessential energy as earth spirits, reviewing and thinking and having some time to reflect, sitting in front of this beautiful pool of water. Our vessel is full, our shoes are ready. We are walking forward into the next phase of our journey, firmly in our place, with our Virgo energy set point, our beautiful earth set point, ready to take part and become the energy pattern of the earth vibration, is what Spirit's saying, in that tapestry that has been woven. And we are now particularly well placed, Spirit says, to do that. So I've loaded up a couple of other pictures that harken back to my journey to Spirit's talking about Newgrange. That's interesting. So Spirit asked me to load up a couple of pictures. I did so, and there's one of them. It's funny how that works. So Spirit's talking about the passage tombs and all of the readings that have come out. Part of the discussion has been about emergence. And so as we had our journey and our passage, when our soul made the transition into and through the passage tombs in the Boyne Valley, we emerge after the solstice into the new year. And this is where we sit. And Spirit's talking about that with regard to the place in which you sit, having re-emerged in this way. The other thing that Spirit is talking about quite a bit is the holy well at Tara, the wellspring. And there you are, Virgo. This is the place in which you sit. These are the types of phrases that are coming through. And Spirit wants you to be very clear, wants me to be very clear with you about the situation, the position, and the energy set point in which you sit. So there's one other photo that I want to just show you, since sort of Spirit's leading the way on this. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. All right, so you're looking at the wellspring at Tara. Underneath the King of Hills, there is a sacred well that has been flowing for 6,000 years. And people go there and pray and meditate, offer prayers, offerings. When I went to Tara, the place where kings are crowned, or were crowned in the ancient days, I think 500 or 600 kings, they had to come to the Stone of Destiny, high atop the hill, in this place, in order for the coronation to take place. And so Spirit's been talking about, as you know, if you've been following along, the yin and yang experience, the experience of blending your energy, in order to bring balance, in order to join. Spirit's talking about the pattern of the energy transition that is happening and the places from which that arises. Okay. Spirit's saying arrive and arise at the same time. So, this I think is another implication of yin and yang, the depth of the feminine power and the heights of the male power. Equally powerful, equally necessary, each in their place, each in their energy set point. So, let me move forward, Virgo, because, as we think about ourselves in this way, there we are, the earth spirit, sitting at the holy well. That's what Spirit's wanting to talk about. And just having your time there to sit and pray and meditate because you've been prepared to go forward very deeply. And this is how you stand as an earth spirit. Virgo, look at that. Woo! Isn't that gorgeous? The way in which the amount of love that comes through, Virgo, for you this month, and the recognition of your being is what Spirit's saying, yourself, your being, your spirit being, your energy. These cards have come up in a couple of other readings. In fact, you know what? The beautiful woman of art came up, I believe, in the water signs, and to see her here at the earth sign of Virgo, no surprise to me. So if you have a chance and you have some extra time, skip around through some of the other signs, especially the signs that would be related to you, your moon sign, your rising sign, the close people in your life, just to get an idea of this pattern. So, Virgo, that is the gorgeous woman of art. That is the sacred goddess Bo-Ann. And she stands upon the earth, flowing. Her beauty, her energy, her intention. Her energy allows the earth to flourish. And she is of the earth. They are one and the same. And we see the sun arising in the background. It's an indication of, again, the emergence after the solstice the Spirit is talking about. How you are here now. So I think I forgot to say this, but for those of you that are new, the first card that comes out, the Judgment of Skill in this reading, is about the light, the energy, the thematic presence. It's an indication of the type of discussion that the reading is going to be focusing on. And this woman of art, the second card out, in the center position, that's you, in your placement for the month of January. This is also a prophecy about the year 2018, because when we lead off with the Judgment of Skill, and we see the blue shoes, and sitting at the wellspring and all the discussion that came, and then we see you as the river goddess, with your energy flowing out from you across the earth, holding abundance in your hand, in the light of the sun after the solstice. That's what Spirit's talking about. And there's the beautiful card. Did you see the radiance coming off of this beautiful goddess? So you can look her up. This is Bo-Ann. In the ancient days, actually, in the ancient language, that meant cow wealth. And so we see her in the pasture, Spirit says, in the garden. She had her own mystical process throughout her life, this beautiful woman. And she ended up literally becoming the fountainhead of the River Boyne. That is the sacred river that runs through the Boyne Valley, where these passage tombs exist. One of the most mystical places in Ireland, although there are many all across that incredible island. And so Spirit's talking about the energy of yourself, with a capital S, that emanates from you, and wanting you to understand that this is your placement in these days, coming through 2018. I'm going to transition back because there's the way the light is coming. It's early in the morning, and I have to go out this afternoon, sadly, because I really want to finish the readings, but I thought I want to get a couple more out. So, Virgo, look how beautiful. I obviously, it's personal for me, but I do get a little choked up, and I'm feeling a lot of um, it's, I think what it is, the love of compassion that's coming through. And the deep way that you are being acknowledged is so beautiful to me. And I just feel very, very grateful for that. So let's take a look at what your pathway is going to be on the human part of your journey under the light of these two aspects and your placement and your emergence from the solstice. Look at that. Magical. So, I'm doing my best to remind myself Spirit has made a very deep request of me to remind you to look into the patterns of the cards vertically, horizontally, and the crisscross from the bottom to the top. So just take a moment and drink that in, Spirit says. Just the visuals. That's an amazing story unfolding when you see how these cards are aligned. So let's talk about the first card on the human walk. That is the beautiful King of Skill. One of the things I love about that is it continues the type of messaging that's been coming through about the yin and yang, about the type of energy that we now embody. And so Spirit is recognizing you as an earth spirit in both the male and female form. Quite gorgeous. So first, we start out with all this beautiful feminine power, feminine energy, the energy of abundance, creating the flow of life, creating the pattern of energy, out of which life arises, Spirit says arises. And so that's part of the theme. And then right away, the first step on your journey, accompaniment by this absolutely gorgeous male energy, the King of Art, who is like the lovely goddess, the woman of art. The King of Art also is a very creative and spiritual individual in male form. This person, this man, this King of Art, highly activated at the heart chakra. He has very deep emotional reserves. And Virgo, we know that about you. Virgo is very often shy and demure. We kind of hold it close to the vest. We're not very flamboyant. We don't seek that. It's not what feeds us, most of us. However, the well is deep, and I think that's why Spirit wanted you to see those pictures that I had loaded up, and now I'm being asked to show them to you again so that you can see them in relationship to the cards. All right? So there's the well, the beautiful holy well, representative of the feminine energy, and the stone of destiny. So what Spirit's chattering in my ear is, this is the other representation of the woman of art and the king of art. There they exist. All the ways in which that concept exists in the world and in the sacred places, and most importantly, in the sacred places inside of you as you take your walk. So, the king of art, in relationship to the wellspring, the river that flows, that was created when the beautiful Bo-Ann did what this gorgeous woman at the Judgment of Skill did. She went through a mystical journey. She had a lot of ponderings. She had a very mystical walk. And her destiny was to become the river that fed all of what came after. And so, in the light of that, we see the beautiful King of Art, also standing in the light, having emerged from the solstice. Clearly, he is of the mystical realm. We see the raven flying across the sun in the background. Again, Spirit's talking about passage and emergence. So, this beautiful King of Art has his personal power in his hands. And that spear is, in the mythology of the card, is able to cover great distances. And his job is to light the way, to clear away the darkness, and to clear away obstructions by drawing on the beautiful creativity of the heart within him. And this is how he finds his inner confidence and the calm that is needed to withstand any troubles that come while you're in the business of clearing away the obstacles and bringing the light here onto the earth. It is also about responding to the sacred impulse that comes to you through your heart chakra. And so let's just look at the card together, okay? Look at that. Wow. Do you see where the focus is, Virgo? And it's funny. What Spirit's saying is, it's about time for Virgo to be able to focus on your heart chakra and know that the deep wellspring that lives within you, in your emotional set point, it is time for that to flow out onto the earth. And we do it in lots of ways. I think there's coming a moment in 2018 where the energy of Virgo and the voice of Virgo and the set point and so we're talking about vision, all right? That is going to come forward and be developed for a particular purpose, just like the journey in 2017 had a purpose. So in 2018, now we get to unfold that. Spirit's talking about unpacking the suitcase now. That's interesting. All right, so there's the beautiful King of Art. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful male and female energy accompanying each other on this very sacred journey in order to bring abundance and clear away obstruction. This man is a pathfinder. And so to have this beautiful male energy, and it's interesting because the vision that's coming through is, here, let me toggle back. So there's the beautiful Boanne standing in her place, preparing to flow. And she has the King of Air walking out in front of her, clearing obstructions, bringing the light, creating the path. Because her job is to just radiate her energy and let it flow. It's very interesting to me. I love that it's that way. And having that portion of the energy set point achieved is what Spirit's talking about. Then we return Virgo back to you, in a sense, right? These are all aspects of you. But in a sense, Spirit's talking about the energy complement and the way that is placed for you as you go forward. There's chatter about that, about accompaniment and protection and pathfinding. And, Virgo, our energy is, Spirit's talking about fulfilling a need for you. It comes around you, but also within you. This need to have accompaniment and protection to fulfill our need and desire for safety and a little bit of quiet. Virgos don't want to fight the giant battles, etc. We want to be in our place, right? And just allow ourselves and our energy to create the beauty that is meant to come from it. It's about creating order out of chaos. So as we make this tapestry, obviously that's part of what is going to be happening. And if you look at some of the less inspired astrological information, you hear things about, Virgos are fussy and Virgos are picky and Virgos are what, we know maybe we are a little bit sometimes. In my life, what I experience is there is an energy that is attempting to flow out of me. And there is an order that is meant to happen. And a certain amount of order that I need in my life in order for that to take place. And I believe that's a sort of another, maybe it's just my alternate viewpoint about what it is to be a Virgo. There are some things that I understand. So again, I think this year we're going to have a lot of discussion about that. It's time to nurture that basis and allow it to grow. And so here's the very next card. Let me toggle back for a sec so you can see that. That is the beautiful Woman of Battle, standing below the Woman of Art and next to the King of Art. And she looks directly at him, her guide. Okay, Spirit saying her spirit guide, the Pathfinder, with whom she will work, that energy. So, there's a lot coming through about the sun signs, the earth and the sun. So check out the readings for the sun signs. They're really astounding. There's something about that. I guess we're going to hear more about that in 2018. But that's the beautiful woman of battle. There she is. Again, dressed in her passion. The wind of change, the winds of the future, Spirit says, are blowing through her hair. And she stands very securely in her place, like the king of art. She has her personal power in her hand. And having been through her, okay, it's interesting. Spirit's saying inauguration. I was going to say initiation. She has her amulet around her neck. She's prepared to receive that which comes. She is open to the future. And she looks forward into the wind with a form of sacred vision that allows her to be. It's really interesting. So Spirit's talking about the light and being a visionary and what it is to have your energy standing here on the earth. This woman in the mythology of the card is often, all the things I said, she's often sort of the first one into the gap. She is unafraid. And that is one of the aspects of Virgo. And because she's here this way with her amulet, like that, I think this is about another step in your journey of development. Those things, that part of your nature, I think, is going to come forward this year. It's very interesting for me to see it. And I love that she's sort of looking directly at the King of Art. So let's transition back so you can take a look at the cards again. And we'll talk about the next card, which is a beautiful Major Arcana card. That is the Dreamer of Growth. And that is the type of thing that Spirit's chattering all about with all these different words in my head. All right, while I'm doing the reading, what happens is a little stream of information comes through to me, and I do my best to put that into human words so that the reading can come out and the concepts that are meant to be discussed, Spirit says, can be here. So here's the next card, the Beautiful Dreamer. This actually is the Dreamer of Growth. And, from a divinatory point of view, that's about hope and insight, inspiration, also about healing. It's about coming into a place of unconditional love and optimism. All the things that I think about when I think about the nature of a Virgo, quite frankly. All right, it's about holding the sacred aspect of faith. Obviously, it's also about dreams and aspirations. It's about widening your horizons, able to look in both directions, able to understand the depth of the situation that is evolving in your own life. So, it's about a period of calm after a storm, all those things. In the traditional tarot, this would be the Star card. Okay, so again, inspiration, the ability to manifest, being very deeply rooted. Virgo, not only into the earth, but into the sacred realm out of which you arise. So Spirit's talking a lot about you as an earth spirit, right? It's really beautiful. It's about being rooted here, of course, as we are, but also into the mystical realm. So the ability to manifest, the ability to have sacred, perhaps psychic dreams, perhaps the ability for astral travel. So deeply rooted and able to see in both directions. Really profound given everything that has come out. So as we go into that aspect, the final step on your human journey for the month of January, and also again as a prophecy for 2018. So you are being given, in the way you are standing, the space, if you will, to dream, to discover yourself, so that you can become more complete and that whatever healing needs to happen can arrive, because you will be manifesting it through the energy set point that you now embody. And so there's a bit of hearkening back to the very first card, which is the Judgment of Skill. Do you see how they're aligned? So this dreamer sits right below, supporting this idea of the Judgment of Skill. And that's what that woman is doing. She's dreaming, she's thinking, she's pondering, she's reviewing, she's forecasting what will come and what has been. I love the way Spirit is bringing this message for you. It's very profoundly loving and very deeply prophetic toward the year that is coming. So keep an eye on the lines that are developing, and I'm going to load up the next photo that has to do with the bridge card. As you walk through your life with these aspects, the dreamer of growth being the final purpose, if you will, for your energy in the month of January, and a prophecy for what you will achieve and who you will become in 2018, with the Pathfinder here to accompany you. The beautiful King of Art. The very next card. No surprise, but again, startlingly beautiful. That is the Imaginer. So it's another major arcana card. And the full name of the card is the Imaginer of Harmony. This is the Moon card in the traditional tarot. It is, again, if you look at that center line that has developed, it's incredibly beautiful. And you know, in the deck, it's the very next card. So Spirit is talking about this is the progress. This is the ordered progress that you are making. So the dreamer of growth is the predecessor. First, there is a period of dreaming, a period of bringing your vision into clear focus, being able to utilize the visionary part of your set point as a human being in the way you stand, as the illustration of the cards speaks to. And then right above the King of Art, the bridge card that brings, Spirit's talking about the threads. Up until now, it's been expressed as the mirror between the human walk and the spirit representation. What's happening in the spirit realm of your soul travel? So I love that we're seeing this vessel. This vessel, this boat, is a sacred, magical boat. You can't tell in this photo, but it has golden oars. Its purpose is to take anyone to whichever destination they seek to find. And of course, under the light of the full moon. And tomorrow is the first full moon of the year. It is a super moon. And there actually will be two full moon coming, a super moon on the first day of the year, and another, I think it's actually another super moon on the last, I said first day of the year, I meant first day of the month, but both are true in this case, and on the last day of the month. So there will be two full super moons coming, and an eclipse actually in January this year. I believe it's a lunar eclipse. I was doing a little research online. So look it up, check it out, Virgo. So in the traditional tarot, this would be the moon card. Again, in pairing, Spirit says, with the beautiful dreamer of growth, this is about imagination and about bringing forward your latent powers. So, you know, again, as the message comes out, that's what Spirit is wanting to talk about. That's why we're looking at the Hill of Tara and the Wellspring and the Stone of Destiny and all the things that have come through so far. This is very clearly now, I'm understanding, very clearly a prophecy for you about 2018. And obviously in January, we're on the first step. So, as an earth creature, we are sensitive to the moon and the pattern of the tides that the moon controls. So Spirit is talking about the tides of your life. And this card stands right next to the goddess of the river, who stands next to the wellspring. So very profound messaging for you, Virgo, this month. There are going to be a lot of unconscious influences about the patterns of your life. Your dreams and your visions are going to come forward, and there will be a lot of introspection. That's the other aspect. So we started the reading, pardon me, with this type of introspection, sacred introspection, about the way in which your energy emerges and flows upon the earth, feeding it and bringing forth abundance that you hold in your hand as the fountainhead. Really beautiful. Spirit's talking again about the holy well. And there now, Spirit's talking about increasing. Okay? So if you look at the judgment of skill, the center line on the right, that was the first card. Spirit's talking about look from there to the left and understand the progression and the deepening of the progression. And you will understand your journey for 2018 as you start in January with these beautiful moons that are coming. So, it's a very fertile moment. These are obviously very feminine cards. Spiritual feminine power, the rise of the goddess, the return of the goddess. And I love that on this journey, the sacred king of art is here with you. It's just so, what if we were going to make it up, right? That's what we would want. A guide, the strength of the complementary energy in order to ignite our journey and light the way and clear away the obstacles so that we can do what we're meant to do, which is go deep and be deep into our energy set point. So, the Imaginer of Harmony, this moon card, here in Soul Tarot, it's about being able to see very deeply into the rhythms and the patterns of the universe. It provides an aperture upon the soul that opens and closes as the moon waxes and wanes. So this year, Virgo, in 2018, pay special attention to the cycles of the moon. Educate yourself about that. Spirit's been talking actually a lot about, transition to the wrong spot. Spirit's been talking a lot about the quarter moons. So there's a lot of information that is available to us. We thank God, because of the internet now. See how deep that little being is going? Riding really deep. And I love it because, that's a Piscean-like image, riding that beautiful fish, diving deep. It's about going back to the source of your own self and how that connects to the universe and the tides and the moon. So, sorry, I interrupted myself. Pay attention to the cycles of the moon. Learn everything you can about that. Keep a journal maybe. Understand yourself as you go through those cycles in your life, here under the light of the moon, with the beautiful power of the sun shining down upon you. Earth and water, air and fire, all of the elements that make up Earth. That's what Spirit's talking about. So let's go forward and look at the Spirit journey as all of this reflects. And it was really fun for me to see this come out. Look at that. Every single reading that I have done so far for the month of January has had the notification of a journey, an adventure that is coming. Now that we have woven this tapestry of energy and you stand in your place and you emerge and evolve, you're going on a journey. Well, I don't know about you, but what could be more fun than that kind of a transition? I love adventure. I'm an Aries rising. So, I'm a little Virgo. I live like a hermit in the woods. That's what I want. I like it. I like the quiet. I want to hear the wind in the trees. I want to hear the birds. I want to hear the crickets. I don't want to hear traffic. All of that stuff. So that's why I live the way I do. And I know that inside of most Virgos, there's something about that. We need settled energy in order to be in the dreamy place that we're meant to be and to be of the earth. And this year, as we take up that place, we're being sent on a fabulous adventure. The Aries rising part of me loves that. Look at that. It is an adventure of skill. Look how excited that little mouse is. Look at that. Sitting in this beautiful field of wheat. So, it's interesting that this comes in the way it does. I'm going to toggle back because I want you to see the spread. So, look at the left hand line. There's the King of Art clearing away obstruction and being the pathfinder and bringing light through the illumination of the heart chakra. That is where his light comes from. He stands supporting this very dreamy, moon cycle, watery journey that the dreamer of growth ushers in. And right above that, an adventure. Which, if you look at the imaginer of harmony, we already know we're on an adventure. But Spirit now is saying, okay, on the spirit realm, reflecting what's going on inside your being and here on the earth, yes, you are going forward. The Adventure of Skill has the background of that story of that card has to do with an epic battle, and the way in which resolution came to problems, and the way the obstruction that was happening that caused a battle had to do with the mice. I don't have time to go into the long story, but basically, when we see the King of Art, whose job it is to clear away obstructions, and then I see this particular Adventure of Skill card that has to do with the clearing away of an obstruction and the resolution to a challenge, I'm very excited for you. And it sits looking at and sitting right next to the renewer of growth. And so in the spread, we have this very deep, that's why Spirit's talking about the moon. You are being pulled very deep, Virgo, into the deepest place of your energy set point as an earth sign, and how it has to do with the moon. And let me toggle back. Okay, so one of the reasons I built this house, the way I built it and the place I built it is, and the reason it's called Moonrise Cottage is because the moon comes up in a certain place because I'm up on a hill. So the moon comes up over the ridge and it tracks right across the front of the house. And I wanted to be in the light of the moon, and I wanted to be able to be involved in the cycles of the moon. It's really interesting. So Spirit's saying, yeah, there's a reason for that when it comes to Virgo. So part of the purpose and the adventure, the skillful adventure that you're going on, has to do with renewal. This is the renewer of devotion. And again, there is the sacred bowl that was found in a bog. And many of the illustrations on these cards arise from this bowl and from other carvings and things that were found. So if you go online and you look up the Gundestrup Cauldron, it's in a museum, I think, in Denmark. It was found in a bog. It has everything to do with the sacred traditions of the Celtic people. And it is we see a lot of images in these cards about the sacred cauldron out of which things are manifested. And we are talking about manifesting in this reading. The place where one is placed in the passage tomb when spirits passed. That's the word that's coming through. The human remains were cremated. They were taken to the passage tombs and placed in the ceremonial bowls in the altars that exist in the passage tombs in order to wait for the solstice to come so that their souls could go forward on that aperture. It's really interesting. There's a lot of chatter coming through about that. It's a rabbit hole. I'm going to resist for a moment, but I think it's going to come out as the months go on. Those are elderflowers. They've been used for eons for healing. Okay. It's really gorgeous. The renewer of devotion. That is what you are dreaming about. That is what is being prophesied. And it has everything to do with your individual set point under the light of both the sun and the moon. So pay close attention. And when this year's cycle of lunar and solar eclipse come through, pay attention to that. There's something about that, and I might be inspired to do some readings around them as well. You're going to be affected, and your healing is going to come by the bringing forward of your energy, set point, and your ability to be deeply in that as you have transitioned and your healing continues. So, having come through that, the very next step is another very sacred, very deep, the deepest of transitions that one could make. So, look at the very far right hand line of these cards. The Dreamer of Growth, a major arcana card. The Judgment of Skill. And the feminine energy that sits and ponders. Spirit's been talking to me for many years about the return of the goddess. And when I look at these cards, that is what comes to my mind. The return of the earth goddess, the Gaia principle. Something is shifting in 2018 in a very profound way. And this is the prophecy that begins the unfolding of that story. And so there is yet another portal. Again, beautiful sacred energy, feminine energy. Do you see the male shaman carrying the head, the seat of the soul, the Celtic peoples believed, through another portal? This is the liberator of devotion that follows right on the heels of the renewer of devotion that is preceded by the adventure of skill. So Virgo, that is how deep you are going. January is going to be a beautiful, I think, somewhat dreamy, watery, intuitive month. Keep a dream journal. Keep don't have to be really formal about it, but make a place for yourself to record your thoughts and that which you are dreaming about, what your hopes and aspirations are, the deepest ones that you have, very deep in your soul, very deep in your heart. There's a type of energy that's going to begin to stream through your heart chakra. I know that to be true because I see the King of Skill. And the King of Skill, being all that he is, the source is the emanating energy from his heart. And how deep you go. And Virgo, you're sitting on the table in the center line on the human walk. That's the woman of skill looking directly at the King of Art. That is not a mistake. That is not a coincidence. That has meaning. All right? So look at each line. Spirit's saying, take a look at the King of Art and look diagonally up to understand another piece of that journey. Very deep. You are going through on the cycles of this moon in January in order to prepare you and continue to renew your devotion and liberate it so that it can flow out upon the earth. That is the message. And in those aspects, you are able to dream as deeply as a being could dream. Sacred dreaming, in connection with the universe, on your human walk, directly in connection with your spirit being, in order to travel on this beautiful boat, to imagine the harmony that you desire, and that energy spurs a journey, an adventure that brings renewal and liberation. It brings tears to my eyes. When I sit here, in Little Moonrise, this is a tiny little house, in Little Moonrise Cottage, and I think about these concepts, a part of me thinks, ooh, it's on. Where are we going this year? Because I thought I was going pretty deep already, but clearly, we're all meant to continue to evolve. So let's take a look at the outcome card. All right, here comes. Wait do you see this? Of course, no surprise at all for any of us. Should this be a moment of surprise when we see this card? It's beautiful. That is all about everything that I've been talking about, basically. That is the beautiful woman of skill. She holds in her hand the sacred spool of destiny. And she winds the spool of destiny. She holds the thread, rather, of the spool of destiny in her hands. And you see how she stands in the mystical realm? She is standing on the earth, firmly planted. Look at her gown. Look at the gown that every other woman that has on. Always there is flow and connection, very firm connection, firmly grounded to the earth. And yet she stands in the mystical realm, accompanied by all the other women in the center line, and Spirit's including the moon card, the imaginer of harmony, in that grouping as a female energy set point. All right, so there she is. Again, a highly activated individual. She has vision. She has the ability to dream, to manifest. Okay, Spirit's talking about the woman of skill and asking me to remind you, remember, you're going on an adventure of skill. And that's what it's going to be about. She winds the threads of destiny, and she holds the spool of the sacred thread in her hand. Look at that beautiful gown. Look at that. It's beautiful. Feathers. Spirit's talking about the ability to take flight and to go deep and to travel into the sacred realm of energy that literally creates destiny. The ability to manifest your destiny as an earth spirit. That is the promise of January. So if that's January, I'm really excited to figure out the rest of the year. And I always have to, because of my Aries rising, I have to always sort of pull the reins back and, whoa, girl, one step at a time. Don't be so eager to go forward that you miss the present moment. And because of the dreamy nature of these cards, that's the other thing that Spirit wants to say. Let yourself go deep. I'm going to toggle back to see how deep that journey is. And you in the center in all these ways, thinking and dreaming and standing and gathering your energy and looking at, I love that you are looking at the King of Art. It's phenomenal to me. This deeply mystical goddess energy, Gaia spirit journey, guarded and guided and accompanied by the beautiful King of Art. Virgo, I am wishing you a wonderful month. I think a celebration is in order. In whatever way you do that, definitely light some candles. Allow yourself to sit in the candlelight this month, in the moonlight, if you have the ability to go someplace where there's no light pollution. Or even, if you're in a city, go to the rooftop, look at the moon, and understand what it is to be in this aspect in your human life, to be the dreamer of growth. With the voyage and the passage that's available to you through the Imaginer of Harmony at the bridge card, and how this spirit walk, this spirit journey, reflects your human experience as you wind your destiny and prepare for 2018. So Virgo, thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you. I'm so grateful for all the love and the acknowledgement and the accompaniment that I have been blessed with over the course of this year. I truly have been able to come deeper into myself because of all the love that has come to me from you. So continue to tell me your thoughts, tell me your dreams. I'm eager to hear from you. Let's have a discussion going forward. All right? So I'm going to leave you with the cards. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful month, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in February.